Just again, more clumsy and to be honest, uneducated comments, Jamie. Really, if FIFA wanted to support underprivileged groups and underrepresented groups through a charitable fund, they would do that. They're a multi-billion-pound organisation, and the notion that they're doing it through a World Cup is just bizarre. What's even more bizarre to us, really, is the comments he made about people crossing the Mediterranean to get into other countries. I mean, the notion that, again, that you can use a World Cup tournament to stop people who are fleeing persecution and often war is just bizarre and just shows a complete lack of knowledge of the subject matter he's talking about. Well, I think there's two issues here for me, Jim. I think we saw some of this yesterday. I think there's an intent issue, which I'm not going to judge his intent because I don't know the guy and I don't know what his intent was. But I think it shows a glaring lack of awareness from leaders in sports across the piece, actually, not just Infantino today, but we saw the similar comments on a different scale, but yesterday in cricket. And I think our global leaders, the leaders in our sports industries, need to step up and need to educate themselves on global issues and actually educate themselves on different communities around the world on a macro and a micro level. And it's really clear from these comments that he's not got a clue, really, when it comes to why people are leaving certain countries, what the drivers are, never mind geopolitics and what the kind of current issues are from a geopolitical perspective. So I expect more and I expect better from our political leaders, to be honest, when it comes from our leaders when it comes to understanding the global context and the macro context when they're making decisions for all of us. And I know for a fact, because of the comments we've had yesterday and today, our beneficiaries, once again, from disadvantaged and underrepresented groups, are looking at those comments and thinking, these are people who just haven't got a clue about us and how we live and anything to do with our lives and our perspectives. I think the specific comment, a lot of it you could argue, and again, I'm not going to judge his intent, but to make a comment so ignorant, really, around people crossing the Mediterranean, almost like they're crossing to land of milk and honey, and that perpetuates yet another stereotype of why people enter Western countries in particular. And the vast majority of people who enter Western countries are fleeing persecution, are fleeing war, they're refugees, they're seeking asylum, they're not going to make the journey because a World Cup's being had in the continent. It's just a nonsense, to be honest, to come out with something like that. So I don't think that's taken out of context. But again, as I said, I'm not going to judge his intent, and I don't believe in this whole kind of notion of battering people all the time. But he needs educating, and I think we saw that yesterday. We've got a big job to do, educating sports leaders about the subject matters they're speaking about, and educating them about the broader context and their lived experience.